So the answers to test number 16, I showed you guys this chart of Virgo ascendant with Mars and Saturn in the 10th house, where Mars was at 10 degrees, Saturn was at 12 degrees, and then you had Rahu and Mercury conjunct in the 8th house, while South Node is in the 2nd house. And I asked you what kind of a career this person has and what kind of a career this person will have, like a successful career or not. Well, here's the answer. This person can have two types of career, legitimate and illegitimate. Legitimate, okay? Let's talk about the legitimate one. Legitimate one, this person can be a computer engineer. Why is that? Because Mars and Saturn combination always creates an engineer, okay? Because Saturn is mechanical jobs and Mars is engineering jobs, okay? So when these two come together, it's pretty much a mechanical engineer. But who is the lord of that sign? Gemini, Mercury, meaning intelligence, okay? It could also mean writing, okay? And so that lord is in the 8th house and it's with Rahu. So what does Rahu represent? Rahu represents computer in this day and age, and Mercury is communication and writing. So it can represent writing of code, computer engineer who may also work in programming as well, okay? Okay, so that's one scenario, A. And the B part, how will this person's career will be? Well, the thing is, this person's career will be having major ups and downs. Why major ups and downs? Because I gave you the degrees, and there's a reason why I gave you the degrees, because you probably know by now if you are, if you've been here long enough on my channel. The nakshatra that these guys sitting on, because the degree of the sign in Gemini, there's a certain degree from one portion to the other portion that contributes to a different constellation. Okay, there's 27 constellations, the lunar mansions in Vedic astrology. This is why in one sign, people think differently. So this is where you have the constellation of Aradhra, ruled by the north node, Rahu. And Aradhra represents a teardrop, meaning like massive emotions, flooding. It can cause natural disasters, okay? And lord of that is sitting in the 8th house, Rahu. And that and 8th house is what? Major ups and downs, sudden ups and downs, like sudden change in life. Okay, so this person can suddenly lose a job, suddenly gain a job, suddenly get promoted, suddenly get demoted. And why? And on top of that, look at this. 10th house has Mars and Saturn together. And Mars and Saturn conjunction is a very devastating conjunction. It creates fires, disaster, cuts, burn, accidents, okay? It creates chaos because these two planets makes a particular house a war zone. So there's a war zone in this person's life, the career side, the authority side. This person probably argues a lot and probably have gotten into battle with his father because 10th house represents father. And if you look at it, the nakshatra that is in the 8th house shows sudden ups and downs. And look at this one. The lord of the 6th house, which is Saturn, Aquarius, of enemies, is in the 10th house. So enemies are now in the line of work, in career. A lot of people are going to be opposing to you, to your viewpoints. You know, like you will have your co-workers just scheming something against you because you're so intelligent and smart. Here's why. Because Mercury is intelligence along with writing and speech. And Rahu amplifies things. And it amplifies the intelligence of a person when Mercury is with it. This is actually one conjunction of Rahu that works well. However, it's in the 8th house of chaos and sudden changes too. So this person can have some sort of a mental disorder in their mind too, being in the 8th house. They can be, let's say, they can have Asperger's disease, they can have dyslexia, they can have ADHD, concentrating problem in their mind. This is just a part. This may not be the case, but I have seen that. This can represent like acute autism because, again, even though this should be related to the moon, it's also intelligence. Intelligence could be impacted with Rahu, especially being the functional malefic in this case, and with the intelligence. However, we don't know the moon, So I shouldn't even get into that because moon also plays a part in all these diseases. However, this makes a person very intelligent, yet chaos in the mind. Okay. Now, the second side to this could be is this. And before I even get to the second side, if you notice that Mars is the lord of the third and the eighth house. So one Dushanta house, eighth house chaos goes into the 10th house with creating chaos. The nakshatra of chaos is in the eighth house, the lord of the nakshatra. Okay, and then the third house represents, communication. It represents siblings and short travel, but represents the mind as well of a person. So the mind is, their situation in life is so chaotic that they sometimes lose their mind. Then what the hell, why can't I stick to one job? Why do I have so many people going against me? So this thing can happen. Now, the second thing can happen with this person is that they can also be criminal. They can rule a criminal empire. And usually criminals have a lot of enemies. Okay, so in 10th house, when these two malefic planets are coming into play, Lord of the 8th and 6th, and then Saturn's looking at the 12th house of secrecy and isolation and even jails, this person can be like a drug dealer because Mars represents chemicals as well, and drugs are chemicals. And yes, you can also say this person could be a pharmacist and could be working in the medical industry. Absolutely. But especially the way the nakshatra is placed in this case and what the nakshatra represents a lot of chaos, man. A lot of outburst of emotions. And when you're a criminal, man, it's just, you're getting stormed from each side. You're having enemies come after you. Your emotions are going haywire. So it can represent these two things. Now, because of the fact Rahu is sitting with the Mercury in the 8th house, why is it that this person can also turn into somebody who's a deceiver? Well, because remember, Mercury is speech. Rahu loves to lie. So lying comes into speech. So this person can get into trouble by lying a lot. Not to mention, Rahu is looking at the second house of speech along with Mercury. Because second house represents your speech, it represents throat. And speech is looking at the throat with Rahu, meaning that ill speech. This person can just tell lies. He can tell other people's secrets. As much as it shows that this person can hold secret because it's in the 8th house, no, this person can also lie about keeping a secret but then tell the secret. So they can get into trouble of that because of Rahu's presence over Mercury. So this is why they say this person is very intelligent, because of the fact they know how to lie and get around things. They make great businessmen with this conjunction. So if you're in the criminal empire is 99.9999999% lying and getting your way. And if your lie is caught, you kill the person who catches you. Simple. Like, that's why you have heaven and hell on this planet. However, this really does represent in a normal sense of way somebody who just goes through major shifts in their career. Like, they just do not know what the hell's going on. Why am I not, sticking to one job? But, just from these placements, yes, it can be very chaotic. But then if you look at all the other planets that can be neutralizing the situation, again, Jupiter always comes into play in neutralizing any bad aspect to something. Okay, so we don't know that. But based on this is what the conclusion is. All right, guys. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe above because I'll be doing more of these tests. And if you want to know more about astrology, check out my link below. Check out my book, The Astrology, The Speed of Light. And if you want to know about your chart, once you get the book, I'll send you the link to look at your own charts. All right, see ya.